Two members of Congress are trying to get more information about a gun-running project that some say led to a border agent's death. For months, top Republican lawmakers, including Senator Chuck Grassley and Congressman Darrell Issa, have been trying to get answers from the administration about an operation that critics say involved ATF agents allowing people to purchase guns at stores along our southern border, knowing that they would be taken illegally across the border and used by dangerous gang members. Grassley says sources have come forward with evidence he believes proves that the ATF knew what was going on. President Obama says neither he nor Attorney General Eric Holder authorized what's known as Operation Fast and Furious. Holder has launched an internal investigation. U.S. Border Patrol agent Brian Terry was killed just north of the border on December 15, 2010. And Grassley says guns sold in conjunction with the ATF operation were recovered not far from Terry's body. He has pushed the administration for answers. Issa has issued subpoenas, and now both say they're being stonewalled. I had a chance to sit down with Congressman Issa, who revealed exclusive new details about how far he's willing to go to get some answers.
Congressman, thank you very much for your time today on this important issue. We've been trying to track down information on this Project Gunrunner situation, much like you have as well. Where are you getting on this?
Well, we're getting a long way, but with no thanks to the administration that has stonewalled throughout the entire process. Even under subpoena, what they turned over was we could go look at papers that basically were so redacted that you weren't sure there actually was writing underneath.
Do you feel like they did comply with the spirit and the letter of the law with those subpoenas?
No. The only thing they've turned over to us in unredacted form are items that you can Google and get yourself. But let's understand, Shannon, this is not a discovery process of what happened. We know what happened. We know that this administration at the highest levels approved a process that allowed thousands of high-powered weapons, basically AK-47 and M16 lookalikes, to go to the worst of the worst on both sides of the borders, that those weapons have been used to commit crimes, and they've led to the death of federal agents on our side of the border, obviously also Mexicans on their side of the border. This is known. The real question is, what were they thinking?
Well, those are good questions, and you point out that you say at the highest levels there was knowledge of what was happening. President Obama has said he didn't know. He has said Attorney General Eric Holder didn't know.
No, he hasn't. I hate to disagree with you. He said he didn't authorize it.
He didn't? Okay. Again, you're right. I mean, you have to be careful with your words.
Words matter here. People are playing all kinds of wordsmithing. The fact is, we know that there were wiretaps, and we know that those wiretaps had to be authorized at the highest level. Everyone we've talked to, whether they were for or not for this program, has said to us, in other words, people who still stand by this program have told us under oath that the authority came from much higher than them. And we're just tracing it back to here in Washington where the authority lies.
All right, in talking with Senator Grassley, he's referenced a lot of people who were on the front lines of what was happening and have been very helpful in providing some information about exactly what happened, some emails back and forth, those kinds of things. Does that help you flesh out exactly what was going on?
Oh, absolutely. Our target are not the criminals who got the guns. They're not the dealers who were told to sell them the guns or allowed to sell them the guns. It's not the ATF agents, whether they were for or against this program, because at the end of the day, they didn't have the power to do this. This was not a rogue operation. This was an operation approved here in Washington. And the thing we have to do is, first of all, find out who at the highest levels approved it specifically and how we prevent something like this from happening again.
Will you have an investigation, an official one here on the Hill?
We already are. We have a slew of subpoenas that we expect to be issuing for people here in Washington. We've gotten voluntary and almost voluntary cooperation in the field. When I say almost, I mean people have said, please give me a subpoena so my career isn't completely over, but they've agreed to testify and they've given us documents. What we haven't gotten one bit of is here in Washington, far away from the actual investigation and prosecutions that they seem to be using as a facade to protect them. Here in Washington, they're not making one agent available, one hierarchy available, and we will be issuing subpoenas because we have to.
And quickly, will you have hearings? If so, when?
We expect to have a series of hearings. The first will probably be with the victims and their families to get a real idea of the true meaning of what happens when you let weapons get in the hands deliberately of some of the worst killers south and north of the border.
This summer?
Yes.
Okay. Congressman, thank you for your time.
And of course, we will keep you updated as there are any new developments in that case and certainly hearings as well.